The owl. Beneath her nest, a shrew's head, a finch's beak, and the bones of a quail attest. The owl devours the hour and disregards the rest. Cat. From the moment she grew a tooth and knew to use it with a look, an implied word, one indifferent purr, nobody ever stood a chance with her.
And now I get a chance to read Wendy too. Wendy Videlock. Really, you have to have this book. The nature of this. The summer's coming to a close. The river where we panned for gold will soon be strewn with fallen leaves. The sago lily and the rose have quieted. Today it seems that all the world is gentling. We have let go of clutching things. Here we watch the seasons come and go with a surprising ease. It isn't that we've bested fear, but that we never wake to know, in spite of love, we die alone. It is enough to fall in love and watch the world unfold.
This is from Graceways by Austi and MacRae, back in print after a short hiatus. Bee season for my mother. Nectar-driven day burns down to evening as light swarms crumble to ash, vanish with day. An endless summer at its height is leaving. The goldenrod from gold to rust is grieving, and sky gunmetal blue weathers to gray. Nectar-driven day burns down to evening. There must still be a teeming hive, we sing, where mothers show their sons an easier way of leaving summer at its height of leaving. A door must open high up in the ceiling of the sky, a crack through which bees slip away as nectar-driven day burns down to evening and life splits open like a trunk, heaving sweetness on the earth. We stop and pray for endless summer, but amber light is leaving, tearing itself from limbs and leaves. The breathing canopies, stripped down now, whisper, stay. But nectar-driven day burns down to evening, and endless summer at its height is leaving.
This is one of the poems from my book Loony Lovers, which Nemo, our beloved poet, colleague, friend, published last year. It's called Car Windows Rolled Up. As I search the media for a piece of news, all print is circumscribed with the much-lauded neutrality, establishing the everyday monstrosity as the common act in town. Until I get to The Enquirer, such a splendid paper, with an article in which a protagonist in a hoary predicament passes through a resurrection and with grace is crowned. In the opening paragraph of the reportage, we are introduced to a 23-year-old woman from San Diego. She is visiting her in-laws without an indication of the in-laws' place of habitation. They could have lived the fiction that is too soon farmed a parcel patch in North Dakota, trained dogs in Maine. No man is mentioned, though if she has in-laws there must be a husband. Dead? Impossibly serene? No children either. So on her way to the supermarket, she goes to the supermarket in the second sentence. She may be thinking, ne'er will I suckle. I won't have children. Or, I'll learn to suckle. I have time. Shopping finished. She puts 2 bags of groceries into the back seat before nestling behind the wheel, ready to drive. After a while, a number of people, individualists on separated errands, there's no mention of a crowd, notice she's been sitting for more than an hour, with hands behind her head, windows rolled up, eyes closed. When a man sees her eyes have opened, he talks to her through the car windows. With the sound of traffic, it's difficult to hear what the other is saying, and they are afraid. But following the shape of her mouth, he is sure the young woman, let's call her Linda, is quietly screaming, "Be quiet! I can't move my head! I've been shot in my brains!" Paramedics are called and break into the car, careful of every move. A paramedic slips into the back seat to explore Linda's head with his finger and discovers, stuck in her hair, a wad of uncooked biscuit mix. No sign of a wound. Linda had been hit by flying uncooked dough from an exploding Pillsbury biscuit canister. After hearing an explosion, Linda had reached back to examine a jolt that had hit her and found a pliability. She took to be consciousness escaping, her moral indicator seeping, her belief in yesterday and the yesterday before. She fainted, but recovered, and for more than an hour pressed to prevent the spilling of the insides of her mind. She was the tenant of her body. Never had she been on such close terms with the landlord, taking care of the whole in the faith that declared she was here to survive. With her mistake discovered, the intensity over, she is nothing but sour. Where is this landlord? An indistinct shape, less a figure, more than a person, can be seen in the period at the paragraph's end. It's going to be sucked into the vacuum if it wanders close to the middle. Will fall to oblivion if, to make sense of this article, it leans to go up over the edge.
Oh!